Pug. Pugs are one of the most popular dog breeds on Earth, and one of the most medically destroyed. Their skulls have been selectively flattened over centuries of breeding until the bone structure barely functions. The condition is called brachycephaly, and in pugs it's so extreme that their eye sockets are too shallow to properly hold their eyes. Pugs' eyes can literally pop out of the socket from something as minor as pulling too hard on a leash or bumping into furniture. It's called proptosis, and pug owners are advised to learn how to push the eyeball back in at home. Their airways are a disaster. The soft palate is too long for the shortened skull, blocking the throat. The nostrils are often nearly sealed shut. Many pugs can't breathe well enough to exercise, regulate body temperature, or sleep without snoring so loud it sounds like a chainsaw. Their spines curve inward, a condition called hemivertebrae, which can compress the spinal cord and cause paralysis. Veterinary researchers have documented at least 15 separate health conditions directly caused by the breed standard. A 2022 UK study found pugs are nearly twice as likely to have health disorders as mixed breeds. English Bulldog. English Bulldogs have been bred so far from functional anatomy that they can't reproduce without human intervention. Over 80% of Bulldog litters are delivered by cesarean section because the puppies' heads are too large to fit through the birth canal. Many Bulldogs can't even mate naturally because their bodies are too compact and misshapen to physically manage it. Artificial insemination is standard. Their breathing is a constant struggle. The same brachycephalic skull problems that affect pugs are severe in bulldogs, with compressed airways, elongated soft palates, and narrowed tracheas. Many bulldogs can't walk more than a few blocks without overheating because they can't pant efficiently enough to cool down. They overheat in temperatures that other dogs handle easily. The breed's average lifespan is just 8 years, among the shortest of any breed. They suffer from hip dysplasia, skin fold infections, cherry eye, joint problems, and heart conditions at alarming rates. A 2016 genetic study found that English Bulldogs have so little genetic diversity left that breeding healthier versions from within the existing gene pool may be nearly impossible. They are the poster child for what selective breeding can destroy. Cavalier King Charles Spaniels. Cavalier King Charles Spaniels look like perfect little companion dogs. Soft eyes, silky ears, gentle temperament. Underneath that exterior, they're living with a skull that's too small for their own brain. The condition is called syringomelia, and it occurs when the skull doesn't have enough room for the brain, forcing brain tissue through the opening at the back of the skull and into the spinal canal. This creates fluid-filled cavities in the spinal cord that cause constant pain. Dogs with syringomelia scratch at the air near their necks compulsively, cry out for no visible reason, and avoid being touched on the head. Studies estimate that up to 70% of Cavaliers over the age of 6 have the condition, many showing symptoms by age 3. MRI scans reveal the problem exists in nearly every bloodline. On top of that, up to 95% of Cavaliers develop mitral valve disease by age 10, a heart condition where the valve deteriorates and eventually causes heart failure. Most Cavaliers die from their hearts giving out. The breed is genetically locked into 2 devastating conditions that cause suffering from birth to death, all because breeders selected for a smaller, rounder skull shape that humans found cute. Dachshund. Dachshunds were deliberately bred with a genetic mutation called chondrodysplasia, which is a form of dwarfism. It shortens the legs while keeping the body long, creating that distinctive sausage shape. The problem is that shape puts enormous mechanical stress on the spine. The intervertebral discs, the cushions between vertebrae, degenerate and rupture at extremely high rates. About 25% of dachshunds will develop intervertebral disc disease during their lifetime. When a disc ruptures, it presses against the spinal cord. Mild cases cause pain and reluctance to move. Severe cases cause complete paralysis of the hind legs. Thousands of dachshunds end up in doggy wheelchairs every year because their spines simply can't support the body they were bred to have. Surgery can sometimes help, but it's expensive, not always successful, and the risk of another rupture remains high. The condition is so common that dachshund owners are told to prevent their dogs from jumping on furniture, climbing stairs, or doing anything a normal dog would do without thinking. They're also prone to obesity, which makes the spinal problems even worse. A breed designed to hunt badgers underground has been turned into an animal that can paralyze itself by jumping off a couch. Shar Pei. The Shar Pei's famous wrinkled skin isn't just a cosmetic feature. It's the result of a genetic mutation that causes excessive production of hyaluronic acid, leading to dramatically thickened, folded skin across the entire body. Every single fold traps moisture, bacteria, and yeast. Shar Peis develop chronic skin infections in their facial folds, body wrinkles, and between their toes that require constant cleaning and frequent veterinary treatment. The skin around their eyes is often so heavy and folded that the eyelids roll inward, a condition called entropion. The rolled eyelid pushes the eyelashes directly against the cornea, scratching it with every blink. Without surgical correction, the constant abrasion causes ulcers, scarring, and eventually blindness. Many Shar Peis need surgery on both eyes, sometimes multiple times. The same genetic mutation that causes the wrinkles also triggers a condition called Shar Pei fever, recurring episodes of high fever and swollen joints that can lead to kidney failure and early death. Their ear canals are narrow and prone to chronic infections. A breed whose entire identity is built around excess skin pays for that skin with a lifetime of pain, infections, and surgical interventions. German Shepherd. German Shepherds were originally bred as working dogs, athletic, balanced, and built to move efficiently all day. Then show breeders got involved. Over the past 50 years, show-line German Shepherds have been bred with increasingly sloped backs, pushing the rear legs into an extreme angulation that looks dramatic in the show ring, but cripples the dog functionally. Compare a 1950s German Shepherd to a modern show champion and they barely look like the same breed. The older dogs stand square and athletic. Modern show dogs have rear ends that slope so steeply their back legs look like they're permanently crouching. This conformation puts massive abnormal stress on the hip joints and lower spine. Hip dysplasia rates in German Shepherds are among the highest of any breed, with some studies showing over 20% affected. Degenerative myelopathy, a progressive spinal disease that causes hind leg paralysis, is also disproportionately common. The breed that once epitomized canine athleticism now regularly needs hip replacements and mobility aids by middle age. Working-line German Shepherds bred for police and military work still maintain healthier structure, proving the show ring is the problem. Bull Terrier. Look at a bull terrier from the 1900s, and you'll see a normal-looking dog with a defined stop between the forehead and muzzle. Look at one today, and the skull has been warped into a smooth egg shape with no stop at all. The forehead curves directly into the nose in one unbroken line. This transformation happened over roughly 100 years of selective breeding for an increasingly extreme profile. The egg-shaped skull comes with consequences. About 18% of white bull terriers are born deaf, one of the highest rates of congenital deafness in any breed. The deafness is linked to the same genes responsible for the white coat and the altered skull structure. Bull terriers also suffer from an unusually high rate of compulsive tail chasing disorder. Affected dogs spin in tight circles, chasing their tail for hours, sometimes until they collapse from exhaustion. It's not playful behavior. It's a neurological compulsive disorder linked to brain structure abnormalities. Studies have found elevated levels of certain neurochemicals in affected dogs, similar to obsessive-compulsive disorder in humans. They're also prone to heart defects, kidney problems, and lens luxation where the lens detaches inside the eye. Basset Hound. Basset Hounds carry the same dwarfism gene as Dachshunds, giving them those short, curved legs under a full-sized body. The result is a dog whose skeleton is in constant conflict with its own weight. Their short legs and long spine create the same disc disease risks as Dachshunds, with added stress from a heavier frame. Their most recognizable feature, those enormous drooping ears, is also a medical liability. The ears are so long they drag on the ground, while the dog sniffs, collecting dirt, bacteria, and moisture. The ear canals are heavy and folded, trapping warmth inside and creating a perfect environment for chronic ear infections. Many Basset owners deal with recurring ear problems for the dog's entire life. The drooping skin around their eyes causes ectropion, where the lower eyelid sags outward and exposes the inner tissue. This leads to chronic eye irritation, infections. Their heavy, low-slung bodies put constant pressure on their joints, leading to high rates of arthritis, elbow dysplasia, and difficulty with mobility as they age. Basset Hounds were bred to track scent low to the ground. The breeding achieved that goal by building a body that slowly falls apart under its own design. Neapolitan Mastiff. Neapolitan Mastiffs have so much excess skin hanging from their face and body that they sometimes require surgical facelifts just to see properly. The breed standard actually calls for abundant, loose skin with heavy wrinkles and folds, meaning the very features causing medical problems are what breeders actively select for. The skin around their eyes droops so dramatically that it causes both entropion, eyelids rolling inward, and ectropion, eyelids sagging outward, sometimes in the same dog. Both conditions require surgical correction. The exposed inner eyelid tissue gets inflamed, infected, and damaged from constant exposure. Their jowls hang so low that they drool constantly and heavily, not just after drinking water, all the time. The loose lip folds trap moisture and bacteria, causing chronic skin fold dermatitis around the mouth and neck. Their massive size, often over 70 kilograms, compounds every problem. Joints deteriorate under the weight. Heart disease is common because the cardiovascular system struggles to support such a large body. The average lifespan is just 7 to 9 years. These dogs were originally bred as guard dogs in ancient Rome. Somewhere along the way, breeders decided more skin was better and never stopped pushing. Chinese Crested. Chinese Cresteds come in two varieties, hairless and powder puff. The hairless version is the result of a genetic mutation called ectodermal dysplasia, which affects the development of skin, hair, and teeth. The same gene that removes the hair also destroys the teeth. Hairless Chinese Cresteds are typically born with incomplete, malformed, or missing teeth that fall out naturally throughout their lives. Most adult hairless Cresteds have few functional teeth remaining. Their exposed skin is vulnerable to everything. Sunburn is a serious concern since there's no fur for protection. Owners apply sunscreen before walks. The skin develops acne, blackheads, and rashes that require regular skincare routines more complex than most humans bother with. Temperature regulation is compromised without insulating fur, making them vulnerable to both heat and cold. Their bones are notably fragile and fine, making fractures more common than in other small breeds. A fall from a couch can break a leg. Despite all this, the breed has a devoted following precisely because of the hairless appearance. The same mutation that causes the dental problems, skin vulnerability, and fragile bones is the reason people want them. The defect is the feature. Pekingese were bred as lapdogs for Chinese emperors, and centuries of palace breeding pushed their faces so flat that basic survival became a challenge. Their brachycephaly is among the most extreme of any breed. The nasal passages are so compressed that many Pekingese make choking, gagging, and snorting sounds with every breath. The noise isn't cute. It's the sound of an animal struggling to get air through a face that wasn't designed to function. Their eyes bulge forward from shallow sockets, making them extremely vulnerable to injury and proptosis. Because the face is so flat, the tear ducts often don't drain properly, causing chronic discharge and staining. Pekingese overheat dangerously fast. Their compressed airways can't move enough air to cool them down through panting. Walking across a room on a warm day can push them into respiratory distress. Airlines have banned multiple brachycephalic breeds from flying in cargo holds because too many died from overheating and breathing failure. Pekingese are among the most commonly banned. Their thick double coat traps heat against a body that already can't cool itself. A breed that was designed to sit on a silk pillow in an air-conditioned palace struggles to survive a summer afternoon. Great Dane. Great Danes are the tallest dog breed in the world, regularly standing over 80 centimeters at the shoulder and weighing up to 90 kilograms. They were bred for size above everything else, and their bodies pay the price. Their hearts have to work enormously hard to pump blood through such a massive frame. Dilated cardiomyopathy, where the heart muscle weakens and the chambers enlarge until the heart can no longer pump effectively, is devastatingly common in the breed. Many Great Danes die from sudden cardiac failure with no warning symptoms. Their average lifespan is just 7 to 8 years, and some don't make it past 5. The breed's most terrifying condition is gastric dilatation volvulus, commonly called bloat. The stomach fills with gas and then rotates, twisting shut at both ends. Blood supply to the stomach and spleen gets cut off without emergency surgery within hours. It's fatal. Great Danes have the highest bloat rate of any breed. Owners live with the constant knowledge that their dog could develop a life-threatening emergency during any meal. Their joints deteriorate under the weight. Bone cancer is disproportionately common. The tallest, most impressive-looking dogs in the world are built on a biological foundation that simply cannot sustain their size.